So those are, but unless we address this other basic issue. So what I'm doing is I'm not looking at those small achievements, important, but I'm looking at the larger picture and the implications of that larger picture unless we address that larger picture and try to recreate it. And recreate it in a way in which we can hold the political class. We are not holding them accountable now beyond elections, the ritual of elections. Every 4 years, there are elections. So one set leaves, another set comes in. But on a long-term, sustainable basis, I think there must be a way in which Nigerians must take the initiative out of the hands of the police. And if we stand up, they will take a cue from it. They will readjust. Instead of we turning them into demigods, running to them for money, running to them for this, running to them for support. If you want an appointment, you run to them for. But let us. And in this respect, as I said the other day, we professionals, we have an important role to play. Because they cannot do what they are doing without the connivance and support of lawyers, accountants, auditors, intellectuals like me. So we must go back to professional ethics and hold them accountable. And that's my point. And it's about time we start that conversation. Prof. We don't let us just look at them as being our savior. We are going to be our own saviors. And we must have that Republican virtue, Republican quality to speak the truth to power and let them realize what they are doing.
You said something earlier about getting the people to awake. Yeah. That would require some kind of education.
Of course.
Not just voter education, political education, exactly. The holistic thing. Yeah. And how would you suggest that this form of education begins? At what point? What in, how do I put it now?
With who?
With who?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that is a design problem. And we can strategize and plan in the short term, the medium term, and the long term.
Prof, who's the we?
No, we the people now, we the people.
How do that coming together? Yeah. Because, okay,
well, by that, democracy. The average citizen in this country.
Prof, democracy is, how do you say it now? It's the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Yeah. So, in a way, democracy is supposed to bring all the people together. So there's a gathering point. In this case now, where the politicians look like the ones destroying the democratic process in the country, and the people are standing on this side, and we're hoping we can get the people to work to get the politicians out. At what point, or how do we rally the people together? What is that rallying point that the people will be working towards?
If you look at Chapter 2 of the Constitution, is that public authorities in Nigeria derive their power from the citizens. So the citizens are the we. And we can vote as part of our citizen, but we can also, even if you call it massive civil disobedience, that is provided for in the Constitution. But it also requires preparing the mind of people for that kind of thing. So that it's not just one guy, if I were me, but that you have a network. And what the politicians are doing quite well now is to use the ethnic factor to prevent cross-cutting alliances across ethnic lines, groups. So they say, you have been denied this position because you are Yoruba, you are not Hausa. They use that. Instead of us seeing that there is a commonality of interest between the Hausa poor and the Yoruba poor that we now need to manage. And it's going to be difficult. It's a very complex process, and I don't think I have the answer for that. But I'm just saying that is the problem. The issue then is, how do we design it? We can start that conversation.
Okay, sorry, Auntie, before we do that, I know we've been looking at activities all across the country. Let's head over to Edo State,
yes,
guys.
Indeed.
Yes,
where we have an update.
Where we have Osaze Obaze.
Yes, let's go to Edo State and get that update.
Right here at Roningbe, we are at Okaro Primary School, and if you can see behind me, you can see that the voting process is ongoing. You have a number of voters coming through, taking their turns to cast their vote. The ad hoc staff are here doing their duty, as well as we also have some security operatives on ground to ensure that they keep an eye on things so that things can go the way they should.
The turnout of voters has not been generally impressive.
You don't vote to
What's the Nuna did the vote?
Because of the security that is here, as well as here is peaceful. That's right. Because last time they break all those hooligans from the other party come here and break all those things. So we know the party that break all those things, that bring all those hooligans come and shoot gun here. That's why today now everywhere is peaceful.
I think they will have to learn with what has happened in the past election, when there was a lot of controversy, shooting of gun, fighting and all the rest. That was what actually led to the cancellation of all this unit.
We are at Oronigbe town. We are right at the middle of the town as I speak to you. Right here, 12 units, 12 electoral units are having elections today. The atmosphere has been peaceful all over town, as well as the polling centers themselves. From Oronigbe, Edo State, South Nigeria, Osazo Obaze, Channels Television News.
Okay, so back from Edo, that's Osaze Obaze. Prof, what he said seems to point to the fact that things are going on fairly smoothly in Edo State. So maybe in spite of the pockets that we reported earlier, on the whole, it seems as if in more places than others, things are more calm. But you were talking about the issue of getting people to understand that this is about them. It's not only for them to come out, vote, go home, and leave the rest of the process to some other people. That this is about us. But again, it goes back to this issue of the chicken and the egg. I'm sorry I keep using that analogy, but I'm
a student of philosophy, so I understand that.
Thank you, sir. Now, I ask you, people mention the issue of poverty, ignorance, the battle for sustenance, being all-consuming, and that what you're making reference to in that kind of scenario might be a bit difficult to accomplish. How would you react to that?
I agree entirely with you, but we need to start that conversation. We need to build on it, because, you know, sometimes it does not take a whole country to start a revolution. Maybe just one or two people who will start that revolution. And because I think the problem we have, looking back, even since 1960, is that we have not had a national leader who is not simply seen as an ethnic leader. I think it's important that will cut how that will be possible, that will cut across the entire political spectrum.
Well, we can only pick from the leaders. We can only pick from what we have.
I know, but hopefully one can emerge. We never can tell. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The contradictions that the system is generating may somehow throw up that leader.
But if these are the elections, if these are the elections,
I know.
This is the process by which we can
I'm looking beyond the elections. That we have to start thinking of how we should not accept this as normal. We accept it is happening, but how do we change it? We seem to just accept that this cycle goes away. The president is sworn in, governors are sworn in, we are quiet for the next 4 years. Later. Governors do what they like at the state level. Parliamentarians do what they like at the federal level or state level. But it has to be a continuous process. But the problem I have is that, and this happens everywhere, those who control the state have enormous power of coercion. Not even of just incorporation, you know.
What you referred to earlier as
cooptation. But they also have the power of coercion. If they see that you are talking on familiar things, they can descend on you. And many of us are afraid of that. Okay, where will I eat tomorrow? What will my students do?
That's the all-consuming battle for sustenance.
So what I'm saying is that maybe we can have the contradictions will be so much that someone will just forget. I'm just like the young man who burnt himself in Tunisia. I'm starting a whole revolution. And people now, because you go on streets in Lagos on a daily basis, a thief is attacking a woman with a wallet or a man, and instead of people coming to help, they start running away from that situation.
Now, Prof, we'll take a break at this point. And it's been pleasant having you with us, Prof.
It's such a repository of knowledge.
Yes. You know,
that means I can leave.
Not quite.
Let me ask you a question. I've always wondered, is that your dad, your father?
Yes.
We're very good friends.
I know.
We worked on a number of things together.
You see now, he's not asking us. This is not happening.
Yeah, that's Professor Dayo Akeredolu. Yes. Fantastic sociologist.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. We want to thank you so much.
And you're beaming with pride.
Yes,
Laddie.
It's his father's son and his mother's son too. Before you attack me, being there.
Professor Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure, having you with us on this segment. And we do hope some of what you said will be taken into account in the cycle that runs on.
No, I think you guys must, after this, start this national conversation. Because we just let's start that debate in the country beyond the mainstream political parties. What are the options? The political parties have failed us. They were supposed to integrate us, but they have become, each political party now, they are supposed to be national in character, but you have ethnic fractions.
You mean 91 of them?
Yeah. Well, the two major ones. I'm talking about the mainstream one.
All right, Prof, thank you so much for being with us. Yeah. It's a pleasure having you. We'll take a break. And then we'll come back just after the break. Please stay on with us.